Good morning and welcome to the weekly briefing for August 30th. I'm Tracy Freese, Director of Communication for Research and Tech Transfer. These weekly briefings are being held in an effort to keep the campus and the public better informed of the changes occurring at Wichita State. After the update today and the featured topic, there will be a time for some questions. School is back in full swing with a lot of great things happening at Wichita State. We're waiting for the official numbers from the Kansas Board of Regents, but all indications are that we're on track to have the largest freshman class for the third consecutive year. The availability and quality of options we provide for student housing continues to grow. The flats at WSU and Shocker Hall are at full capacity and demand remains strong. Construction on the suites at WSU is underway, and the new housing addition will be ready to take on students for the fall of 2019. If you haven't stopped into the Radigan Student Center for lunch recently, you should. Pizza Hut, Chick-fil-A, and Shocker Sports Grill and Lanes continue to be popular options, and the addition of Freddy's frozen custard and steak burgers and Panda Express are a great complement to the options available. At this point, revenue for the first floor dining area at the Radigan Student Center is up 47% from last year. For the first time during move-in this semester, we offered what we called Woober, which was a ride service for students as they moved into their housing. Our faculty and staff were available in golf carts to give students a ride to and from the dorms and the parking lots, and we provided over 1,000 rides during our Woober service, and we're hoping to do that again next fall. We recently announced two partnerships, one with McConnell Air Force Base and the other with Butler Community College. A recap on the McConnell partnership for those who haven't heard: it will provide military personnel the opportunity to work toward their bachelor's degree while on base. Starting in fall 2018, those with a military ID can take courses towards 7 undergraduate degrees. Military and veteran personnel are an underrepresented population, and this partnership diversifies what WSU is able to offer them. And to throw in a little plug, McConnell Air Force Base is holding an open house and air show next Saturday and Sunday, September 8th and 9th from 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Admission is free to that event. We also announced a partnership recently with Butler Community College. Through a new transfer agreement, Butler Business Administration students who graduate with an associate's degree are now able to seamlessly transfer into the Barton School of Business. The agreement simplifies the pathway for students. Supporters of Wichita State University made more than $66 million in commitments in the fiscal year that ended June 30th, making this the most successful fundraising year in the history of the WSU Foundation. In this new fiscal year, private donors continue to help WSU further its vision and mission. Last week, an anonymous donor made a $5 million pledge toward the new Barton School of Business. The donation brings the current total to $26.7 million. The new home for the Barton School is the top priority for the WSU Foundation's Shock the World campaign. The new facility, which will be built on the east side of campus, will replace Clinton Hall, which was built in 1970. It's designed to drive the kind of applied learning experiences that will enable students to be career ready when they graduate. In order to better recruit, retain, and serve first-generation students, a number of faculty and staff from across departments and colleges have recently joined together to form the First Generation Coordinating Council. First generation students make up more than 40% of our student population. The council's purpose is to support first generation recruitment activities, identify new opportunities for recruitment, and assess and coordinate services and activities across campus to reflect a united effort to serve first generation students. The Council's efforts align with two of WSU's strategic enrollment management goals, including leveraging WSU and WSU Trio Gear Up programs from Kansas and beyond for undergraduate and graduate recruitment efforts, and creating a holistic model of student support and services reflective of wraparound or coaching. So far, the Council has established 3 work groups, data and assessment, faculty and staff development, and marketing. We're also excited about yesterday's announcement that Meritrust Credit Union has signed a contract to open a high-touch digital branch at Brayburn Square. The branch is expected to open no later than this November and will feature digital technology, including interactive teller machines and tablets for a more educational and interactive experience, and walk-in and drive-through service. The new Meritrust at Brayburn Square is the next step in a long-time partnership between Meritrust and the university. Meritrust is heavily involved on campus, and through a 3-year, $324,000 gift to the university, Meritrust is helping bring the Professional Edge Career Development Program and Financial Literacy Curriculum to Shocker business students. And that is the conclusion of our updates. With that, I'd like to introduce Jeff Smith, who is Director of the Aerospace and Defense Ideas Labs for Dassault Systems. He's going to detail the importance of public-private partnerships to partners like Dassault Systems.
Thank you, Tracy. All right, it's great to be here. A little bit about me. So 28 years with Lockheed Martin Corporation, retired, and then I just couldn't get enough of working with all the wonderful customers around the world. So I joined Dassault Systems 5 years ago, and I have the opportunity to work strategy as well as the Ideas Lab. And the most exciting part is to be able to work innovation with WSU and NIAR. So I'm going to take you on a little journey here about enhancing value through innovation and what that means based on this partnership between Dassault Systems and WSU. So a little question. When I say Dassault Systems, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Any idea? Oh, quiet crowd. I will tell you, most people think of us as just a CAD company, whether it's SolidWorks or CATIA. But my mission today is to show that we're much richer than that. And we're actually a scientific company with 16,000 very passionate people around the world. About 200,000 customers, a lot of partners, and we're a private company, but it's all about creating value for our customers. And our CEO, Bernard Charles, this is his mission, and this is why it fits so nicely with what we're doing here from an innovation perspective. So it's all about providing these business and people with experiences, these 3D experience universes, and it's all about sustainable innovation and harmonization of nature, product, and life. And that's the beauty of the Innovation Campus, because it's all about work, live, learn, and play. So it harmonizes very nicely. So our legacy, yes, we started with CAD, with CATIA, SolidWorks, and so on, but we grew into where we are today on this journey of what we call the 3D Experience Platform. And it's a business platform, and it services 12 different industries. So aerospace and defense is just one of the 12 industries. Now, this gives you kind of a snapshot of some of the innovation that we're doing. Up on the left corner, we talk about virtual certification. And at the heart of NIAR is all about test and certification. So this applies very nicely in this partnership. Down at the bottom left is all about we're creating what we call the virtual city or the virtual country. And so we have a contract to create virtual Singapore. And on the right, you see what we're doing from a living heart. So we're actually creating the digital twin of the human being, and we started with the heart. So very fascinating what we'll be able to do as we develop the connected human as we go forward. So aerospace. Aerospace is definitely foundational to Dassault Systems. And we have basically designed in some way, shape, or form basically every airplane throughout the world. And you can see that they're adopting and embracing the 3D Experience Platform. And Boeing, we signed one of the largest contracts in the history of Dassault Systems last year. So we're helping Boeing create their second century. So enabling the future today, what does that mean? Our perspective is that there's an innovation race going on. And whoever enables these new technologies, and you'll see that I put quotes around it, it requires this rich blend between people, product, processes, and tools. And we're able to do that with WSU and NIAR as part of this partnership. So where can we bring the future into reality? Right here. So we're developing an innovation ecosystem around the world. And Wichita, with WSU and NIAR and the Innovation Campus, that is the heart or the hub of what we're developing within this innovation ecosystem. So what I'm going to do is we're going to roll a video just to kind of give you an idea of our perspective of how important this innovation partnership is.
We developed the 3D Experience Center for various reasons. The sophistication, both in terms of processes, technology, mechanism, system of work is quickly accelerating. And our customers need a place where they can innovate, where they can experiment, where they can develop new ways of working and new ways of interacting with this technology and how that technology would fit into their space and their existing processes. This facility, although it's physical, is connected globally. Our 3D Experience platform is cloud-based. The teams that may be working physically here can be virtually connected with their colleagues around the world and or other experts or partners that need to be brought in.
We now have the opportunity to drive innovation throughout the world, because our mission and our goal is to be able to create an innovation ecosystem where companies can come and take advantage of this type of capability wherever you are in the world, whether it's in Asia, Europe, whether it's in the United States. And so we have a whole roadmap and strategy to develop this innovation ecosystem. If you're a startup and you come to the 3D Experience Center and leverage all the technologies, all of the processes, the system of work, the methods, rules, templates, and the expertise, and to be able to take a customer out of their comfort zone and bring them into this kind of environment, we can change their mindset to allow them to accomplish their dreams.
The factory of the future will be human-centric. And I believe in the future, more and more people in the world will want to have very suitable solutions, experiences. It's not only more of the same object, but differentiation. So human-centric on all aspects. Quality of work, quality of the result, and quality on imagination for people in the way they become true makers of great things for the society.
So we'll figure out what happened there with that little choppiness, but so why Wichita? Why did Dassault Systems select Wichita as that hub of the whole innovation ecosystem? And it really comes down to these facts. Wichita being the air capital of the world, that branding was very important to us. And many of Wichita or WSU and NIAR's customers are Dassault Systems customers, so it played very nicely together. And we went after one of President Obama's manufacturing.gov activities, which is the IMCP, which is the Investing in Manufacturing Community Partnerships. So, and then with NIAR being kind of an epicenter of the FAA, to be able to provide that technical excellence to them, that was very important to us from a certification standpoint. Of course, Koch Industries having their world headquarters here was very important to us. And then, since then, the ARM, which is one of the manufacturing institutes, of course, Wichita has become responsible WSU for that rig. So, and then there was an 18-hole golf course here, which we all knew about, right? So, what a great use of land to be able to have an 18-hole golf course, and I'm a golfer, but to be able to give that up and put this very rich innovation campus in place. So, our mission, which really, in a sense, is WSU's mission, is all about bringing academia, industry, and research together to be able to advance the state of the art of what product development, manufacturing, operations looks like, and be able to do that through what we call a learning by experience model. Now, I believe John Tomlin, he'll call it applied learning. So they're very complementary of each other. But the whole idea is to allow that student to be able to learn in the classroom, be able to practice it in a lab, and then be able to work with one of the partners on the innovation campus. So, though it's called the Experiential Engineering Building, we like to call it the Innovation Center. And of course, you're very familiar with the different components, with the makerspace called Go Create, with the 24 engineering labs, and then of course the 3D Experience Center. And my goal is just to spend a minute on the 3D Experience Center. So what are the objectives? It's basically the first one. This 3D Experience Center enables us to bring our customers, your customers, to be able to perform research, to be able to perform projects, real work, and be able to prove out their business transformation and how they're going about innovating their future. So, if you've never been there, in fact, how many have been to the 3D Experience Center? Raise their hands. Oh, about half, okay? If you haven't, we'll work on getting you there. But the whole idea here is to allow a company to bring in their people and leverage one of these customer collaboration rooms, of which you see 3 down at the bottom, and then be able to perform their project with all this rich technology and tools in the context of our 3D Experience platform, all integrated together within the 3D Experience Center. So you have the virtual creation of the product and all the associated processes. Then they're manifested in the future factory, which is the physical of where we're able to take robotics and be able to perform hybrid manufacturing of both additive manufacturing and subtractive. We have reverse engineering capabilities all integrated together to create that avenue to be able to do certification. And then conventional additive manufacturing, both polymer-based and metal-based. So we've done some projects. Now, this UAS project was one of the first we did in parallel as the building was being built and all this equipment was being stationed around the campus as the building was being constructed. But the idea is that we want to be able to demonstrate how we can take a 3 to 5 year life cycle down to 90 days. Now, to be able to do that, you got to think totally differently than how we're doing it today. And with the Innovation Campus and the 3D Experience Center, we have the opportunity to be able to demonstrate that. And so this were some of the objectives of that project. And this was a project between WSU, NIAR, and Dassault Systems. And we wanted to demonstrate these capabilities as well as demonstrate where we want to go with reducing the life cycle down to 90 days. And then giving the students an opportunity to participate in this project. And I think they really had a great experience if you talk to them about what is the art of the possible when we talk about innovation. This is a picture of it. So you can just imagine, 13-foot wingspan. It can take off conventional. It has retractable landing gear. It can deliver a 5-pound payload. So it's all about a search and rescue opportunity, leveraging the technology that we developed together in this UAS. And this was our team. So it was a very wonderful team between WSU, NIAR, and Dassault Systems to be able to work together to demonstrate what innovation is all about from this UAS perspective. And then, since the Innovation Campus, or the Innovation Center went live back in April of 2017, we were able to do a project with Airbus, which, as you know, is one of the primary partners on the campus. And this was a very unique opportunity because we had the opportunity around the world to bring a team of people, an international team together of 10 people, and be able to take an idea which Airbus had, and with their team and our teams collaborating together in this partnership, develop a concept of a future thrust reverser. And this was an article that you might have read in the Wichita Business Journal. So we're able to go from concept to full-scale functioning prototype in 84 days. So that was really incredible. So the other aspect of the whole Innovation Campus is all about this applied learning, or what we call learning by experience. So it gives our students, and when you hear about the enrollment and how it's growing, and this is, you know, over the last 3 years, it just continues to grow the enrollment of the student body. I mean, my kids are all graduated, but I would love to get my grandkids to come here and be able to participate in this applied learning model where they get the classroom to get the knowledge, and then they get to go practice it in a lab and then walk across the hallway, so to speak, and work with one of the partners on the Innovation Campus. You can't get any better than that. And those students are able to differentiate themselves from other universities around the country. So, Some facts. In 1 year, since April 2017, these are the kind of things that have occurred on the Innovation Campus, and in particular in the Innovation Center. 167 tours with 1,500 visitors, over 50 articles written. We got 9 high schools that are learning how to use CATIA, and we have these multiple projects going on, of which I've been able to share a couple of them. So it's very impressive, and we just see it continuing to grow. So if you haven't been on a tour, this is what you would get to see. Takes about an hour and a half to 2 hours, take you through 6 stations, and just give you a wonderful experience of what the future of product development and manufacturing looks like and how we're doing it together. So in summary, we have a transformative strategy, and it's in place. And I'm very grateful for the opportunity to partner with WSU and NIAR. It's been working beyond my wildest imagination, actually. And the innovation ecosystem, well, it's the catalyst for this transformation for our various companies and partners. And the 3D Experience Center allows us to prototype these new concepts, these processes, methods, and rules, and so on. And then, ultimately, of course, to educate the workforce of the future. So we're very excited to be able to partner and innovate the future together and be able to do it now. Thank you. And I like this. Whether you believe you can do something or not, you're probably right. So, question and answer. We'll take a few questions here. Oh, I stunned everyone. Yeah.
You talked about student opportunities. What does that actually look like, and
for a student? Yeah, so for example, so the question is, what does it look like for a student? So when you go back to that one chart, so let's just take a student who wants to become an aerospace engineer, all right? So that student, he knows what his curriculum is. He'll know what class or what labs he'll get to work in to be able to reinforce what he learned in the classroom. But then the key is for him to, or her to give them an opportunity to actually work with a partner on the Innovation Campus. So don't take this wrong, but instead of working for McDonald's, come and work in one of the roles and jobs that are available through WSU and NIAR within the context of the 3D Experience Center. And so be able to rotate students through that. In fact, I'll just tell you that we have hired Dassault Systems. We have actually hired 3 students that are helping us now run the 3D Experience Center from a Dassault Systems perspective. So it's worked out very nicely. Question?
you mentioned the CATIA in at least, I think, 9 high schools. Are those locally here
Yes.
in the Wichita area?
Yes, in fact, the question is, are the high schools that are being trained on CATIA, are they local? And the answer is yes. So Sean Ernstein? Yep. He was very instrumental in setting that program up. And it started with 1 as a pilot, and now it's grown to 6 high schools, local high schools. And it's in the junior, senior classes. And just think, you know, now with that experience, their decision, you know, to come to WSU just gets reinforced. You know, why not take all that learning that we're providing them together? And then why not come to WSU to get your college, your bachelor degree, master's degree, and so on. So it's perfect. Any other questions? All right. Well, 5 minutes left. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
And before we conclude, you now have the opportunity to ask any other questions about things happening on campus or the things we talked about in the update today. Okay. If there are no questions, then we will conclude our update for today. As always, we want to remind you that all of the projects and initiatives at Wichita State University are driven by our mission to be an essential educational, cultural, and economic driver for Kansas and the greater public good, and our vision to be internationally recognized as a model for applied learning and research. Thank you for coming to the briefing today, and we'll see you next week on September 6th.